There you are. Hello, Fireflies. We're here. Welcome everyone to another episode of Fireflies Forever. I'll go ahead and be honest. There are two things that I'm dealing with right now. We have some major thunderstorms here in upstate New York. So if I get knocked off, you know what happened. I'll try to come back on. Two, I don't know why, but I am losing my voice. So I will try my best to get through and shut up as much as possible. But thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We greatly appreciate it. Welcome in everyone in the chat. You all are the other part of this show. You contribute your theories, your ideas, your thoughts. So please do so in the chat. And on screen, we've got Joe. Joe, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Anxious to talk about what a development last night. I'm anxious to talk all about that, and obviously the sadness that came with it. It was a tough listen at times, but yeah, I'm anxious to talk about it.
Absolutely. We've got Chris. Chris, how are you today, man? I know today's a tough day, but just want to check in on you, see how you're doing, and I'll turn it over to you, man.
Yeah, it's been between last night and today. It's been very emotional. Today, it's been 2 months today since Jody passed. So yeah, it's been a little rough.
Yeah. I know we talked a little bit earlier. We're here for you. You said something a little bit earlier that meant the world to me. You said you wanted to be around family, and we're here. We're here for you, man. So we're gonna.
I look forward to doing this. So
yeah, likewise, man. So we're gonna get into it. And Chris, I know you had a video you wanted to share again. I'll let you set that up, and then we'll play it and come back on the other side.
Yeah, so I was scrolling through videos the other day and found this, and I'm sure she shared this. It's been years ago though, so I thought it would be worth resharing for people that may not have seen it. So this was Jody's first ever experience going to a WWE live event. This was back in 2019. We went to Monday Night Raw in Cincinnati, and we sat in the very front row, ringside, and man, that was such a cool experience. If you're ever able to do that, I know it's pricey, but even if you can just do it once, it's so worth it. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done. But yeah, I stringed together a few little video clips that she had taken from our experience with her first WWE show.
All right. We will share that now, folks.
Hey everyone. So we are here at US Bank Arena, and we're so excited. And I'm a little buzzed, sorry. So yeah, we are going up to the box office to get our tickets and going from there. So I will send a video out later. Bye! So this is not our first time to Cincinnati, but it is our first time in US Bank Arena. And I think I already said before, we are super excited. I feel like a kid on Christmas morning. This is my first WWE live event. I'm a WWE virgin. So let me show you this view. It's pretty awesome. If I can figure out how to turn this video camera around. No, I can't figure it out. So this is the view. US Bank Arena. We are waiting for the doors to open. We've picked up our tickets. I can't believe how close this is to the ballpark stadium. And the river's really beautiful and nowhere near as beautiful as the view I'm gonna get when I'm inside and 6 feet away from Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, because that's gonna be freaking gorgeous. My husband is really laughing at me right now. Why are you laughing at me? Why are you laughing at me?
You're just cute, that's all.
So, we will see you guys inside. We are super excited, and I guess that's all I have to say right now. Bye! Okay, so we are going down to our seats, and I'm like mildly panicking a lot. But I will send a video when I get there. So we are at our seats, and I wanted to show you literally how close we are. I have to turn around though, because I don't know how to turn their camera around. We are literally like right there. So there's the ring, there's the walkway, and here we are. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out, but I'm so excited.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow,
You had some awesome seats too. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was so cool to be that close. It's a whole nother experience. Like at one point during it, there was a match between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, and Drew threw Roman almost into my lap. Like he hit the barricade right in front of me, and I'm almost flipped over it.
That's great.
Oh man, no, that's awesome. And I always say this, but I mean it, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing these memories with us. And
No problem.
we're honored to be a part of your family and to have you as a part of ours. So thank you so much, man. I had not seen that video.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
really?
think I did either.
Yeah. I hadn't seen it.
That was back in 2019, so I don't even know if she had known you guys yet back then.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that would have been before COVID, so no, probably not, because we started a little after, during COVID actually. So,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that was May 2019 when we did that.
Yeah, that was before we met her, before we met you guys. So yeah. That was awesome to see. So thank you so much, man. We greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to move to another passion of hers, which is the artwork showcase, and we got some art this week. So I'll share a little bit. And here's the thing, folks. I'm gonna ask again. Please send your artwork to us. If you see someone's artwork, send it to us. Let us know who did it. We want to give credit to the artist so we can showcase their artwork and so more people can see what it is that they do. So yeah, please send the artwork our way. We're gonna get started with a tattoo though this time. Brittany K got a tattoo. And she posted this and sent this over to me. So that's freaking awesome. I
saw that the other day. That's amazing.
It is, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the new Fiend, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then you see the moth down there, and I mean that's awesome.
There's so much detail in the moth too. That's
awesome. It really is, man. It's crazy how much detail is in this thing. I mean, even the hair, you look at how detailed the hair is. And wow. Some great artwork there. Some great.
And I like the color. The only color is the eye. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. All right. So moving now to her artwork. I love this.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's so cool there.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, now we're moving to a Hurdy sketch who had some action figures. That's really cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like I need a collect. I need that in my collection.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the Ramblin' Rabbit.
They look pretty. Yeah, they look amazing, man. The detail on them is really, really good. It's that's not easy to do. I know a couple people who sculpt stuff like that. That is not easy to do. And I mean, if he's selling them, you're probably not going to see these things in WWE shop for probably about 2 years.
Yeah,
so it takes them that long to get them down. So if you're looking for them, contact Hurdy. He might possibly be making them for like commissions and stuff. So
that's they look so cool, and the detail is just crazy. So So yeah.
Yep.
I saw this out there too, and this was really, really well done.
Oh wow.
Damn.
I like that a lot.
It's the original picture. I love the colors and stuff that they added to it too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, wow.
And the fireflies behind them. That's awesome.
Yep. Very cool. I did see that too. I don't know where that was from. But
Yeah, I forget where I saw it. I think I just got it on Google, but
yeah,
it was really awesome. Then we got a couple here from Tribal Goat.
Wow, that's awesome.
Man.
Huh. Yeah, so
his face.
Yeah, look at the face and the help thing too.
Yeah. There's so many layers to this.
Mm-hmm.
So much detail. Awesome. This next one though, we'll talk about this closer to the end, but this next one, wow, parallels.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's
really
really cool.
I want to blow that up though, so folks can see it. But look at the.
Oh man.
Yeah, look at all of that. That's tremendous.
Yeah. I love that.
Someone had a picture out, and I don't know where they found it or how they cropped it, but it was a picture of when Bray had the Wyatt family there, of course, with Braun, and Bray was holding his arms out, and it almost exactly identified.
I sent that to Jeff today.
That's incredible, dude. Like how I just don't like. Look, I get it. I know Bo is. You can almost mistake Bo for Bray in some ways, but like how much of this stuff he remembers that his brother did is incredible. Like that takes that's hard to remember all that, and especially knowing that they did this last night on the 5-year anniversary of the Fiend. And knowing that he did that, like that's a lot of love from a brother that remembers all that stuff, because it's just daily life is just, it's hard to remember that. But yeah, that picture's amazing.
Yeah, that. And Chris sent me, so there's this one and then there's this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like literally, like he could be, when you see Bo and you did, we'll talk about it of course later, but oh my gosh, like when he was laughing and stuff, like, oh my God, it sounded just like Bray. Like we heard Bray do that so many times where he would just laugh when somebody was like beating him up, and you close your eyes and you wouldn't even know that Bray wasn't there. It's insane.
Yeah, it's the parallels, man. It's wild. It's wild. There was one other thing I wanted to get to before we go into last night, because I know we got a lot to talk about with that, but I wanted to highlight what Chris sent over to me. I can't play it because YouTube wouldn't like it, but I will share that. So Chris, if you want to take it away and tell the folks about this song.
Yeah, this was a song that I found I used in Jody's funeral. Go check it out and listen to the lyrics of it. It hits me so much. I listened to it this morning, and it just perfectly. I hadn't found any song that had perfectly just like captured my feelings, ever since Jody passed. And this song was just perfect, spot on with my feelings and stuff. So I always listen to this and just think of her. It's a really special song to me.
Yeah, I listened to it when you sent it over to me, and man, got me choked up.
Yeah,
for sure. So, like I said, man, thank you again for sharing that. And folks, go check out the song. It's a great song. And if you're like Chris, like myself, like many of us who struggle with putting our grief into words, I feel like you'll be able to connect with that song.
Yeah.
Like I really, really do. All right. So let's get to discussing last night. And I know that I really want to discuss what happened in the ring, but we gotta talk about Eric Rowan. So man, so before we get here though, I want to ask this question. We'll start with Chris. What did you think of the tape being delivered to Pat McAfee's show? And what kind of possibilities do you think this opens up for what they could do?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I know it's a small detail, but I absolutely loved it, because one thing I'd had a thought already. I like the idea of doing tapes every week with this, but I actually had the thought, I'm afraid of it getting a little stale if every week Nikki does the same thing and comes out and delivers it and stuff. So I'm so glad to see that they did that. You know, they did it different this week, and that was awesome. And it would be cool if they come up with other ways to deliver the tape. You know, if they keep doing that, like that was just awesome to me that they had a different way to do it. And especially something real world, like on the Pat McAfee show, like that. I saw the clip of that, and that was just so cool.
Yeah, I mean, they were in the middle of having the NFL guy. I think Jeff Passan was on, and they were in the middle of that, and then they just got right to it, which I thought was really cool. I mean, they even got his reaction, which he has absolutely zero to do with wrestling. So yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Same question, Joe. What did you think about the tape being delivered this way this time, and what kind of possibilities do you think it opens up?
Yeah, I mean, to quote Chris's point, it's good to change it up a little bit. But what I'm wondering is, why are they calling Pat a liar? Why do we see the screen that says he's a liar every time that you see that? So, I wouldn't be surprised at some point if something doesn't happen between them and Pat. Maybe, who knows? We don't know like what Pat's contract is like and stuff doing sports and all that. When college football season comes around, Pat may go away for a while. Maybe it's something slow burn building up to, they might say that he disappeared or something at some point and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just weird that it's always, you'd see the liar screen come up when they do that. But yeah, I thought it was cool, and how nervous he was taking that box. Taking it on a plane like a passenger and all that kind of stuff was funny. But yeah,
on his Twitter about it.
Yeah, it was cool because it kind of led us, like Chris said, it's not the same old thing. It's not her bringing it up to the and we knew. I guess that was just foreshadowing of what was to come, because it was just. We got a lot more last night than I expected. I didn't think we'd get what we did. I really didn't know when the whole thing with Bo happened. When Chad was going to call him out, I'm like, oh, how is this going to go? Yeah. I had no idea, but yeah, it was foreshadowing, I think, as to, look, we're not going to do the same thing every week. It's going to change. And man, did it ever?
Yeah, it did. Well, Joe, I'll ask you this next question, and then we'll go to Chris. You mentioned Eric Rowan. Let's talk about his video, and just all I can say is wow. But give us your thoughts, and then we'll move to Chris.
For as bad as I felt for Bo when he was doing his little thing with Howdy, I might have felt even, and I know it may come off the wrong way. I don't mean it to. But I felt a little worse for him, and I really, like, you could just see like his expressions on his face, the way he talked about it, losing two brothers. I mean, you could just see how hard that was hitting him, and that the thing about all this is this is so much based in reality, and so based in loss. All of these people had a loss. Right now, as you go through the group, they're not going to have the same losses necessarily, because they weren't, the next three other members weren't as close to Bray as Eric Rowan and Bo were. but they all suffered loss, and you could just see it. Like, this man just looks, you could see it in his face, and it almost looks like the whole thing just aged him, and he said how bad he felt and stuff. And that was all true. There's no doubt. Everything he was saying last night was true. And then he got released by the WWE, which he didn't, of course, mention. So then he was out of work, and all of that just happening to him. And then the thing with Bray happened, and just all of us have been there in our lives where it's just one thing on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, and it beats you down. And that's really what it looked like with him. And he wasn't, I liked it too, how, yes, you heard the voice in the background asking him a couple things or mentioning a couple things. So you assume that was Howdy because it was the same voice, but they didn't show him. And I like that too, because Bo should be seeing Howdy. He is Howdy. He may not hear. So that the voice is just kind of coming from nowhere. And I kind of liked it, but man, I don't know how he kept himself together as much as he did. Not breaking down in tears, talking about he lost one brother and then he lost another brother. And then, of course, he got handed that sheet mask at the end. And that kind of almost perked him up a little bit, I think, where you kind of see him now knowing, he was in what did he say? He was in a hole and stuff. So, yeah, I knew this was going to be very sad to listen to and hard to listen to. I knew it would be. And it definitely was. He was just kudos to him, and I feel so sorry for him, and that he had those two major losses in his life. So it was tough. It was tough to watch.
Yeah, it really was. Chris, man, give me your thoughts on this video. And I'm gonna say this: I'm not calling them promos, because of one of the things that Joe said. This is so based in reality.
Yeah.
They're connecting wrestling to reality. They're doing this in a way that, and I'm going to ask a question because I saw this out there on social media. So I want to ask it here, but I don't call these promos because it's these people's real feelings, and you can tell that. But Chris, give me 1 second. I want to get to Hanzo's super chat. Thank you so much, Hanzo. Hanzo says they've handled this really delicately and beautifully, but it's tinged with so much reality. It makes it even more real and sad, but pure. I wholeheartedly agree with that, Hanzo. And thank you again for the super chat. EJ Movement saying Rowan's promo, I knew was going to be emotional. I feel for him as I watched it. I also had my sheet mask on as well. I bought that back in 2014 for my second live event. That's awesome. All right, Chris.
Yeah, I wore this today for Rowan, my sheet mask shirt. But yeah, that was oh man, it's so crazy to me how a lot of this story is really hitting me on a personal level. With grief and loss, and like a couple of those lines, man, they just really jumped out to me again. Like I doing this every week, pretty much, of lines that jump out to me, but I just wanted to say these again, just because I felt them so much. But in those situations, you get up and you wipe the dust off and you just keep moving, because that's what you got to do. Life goes on. And then the other one, he said, I fell down a well. I couldn't get out. I didn't want to get out. Why? Why would I want to get out? And who's going to miss me? Man, I've never seen anything in wrestling like this. Like, that's just so based in reality. It's more reality than it is, wrestling. And it's awesome to see that. Like, it's like crossing the fourth wall almost. Like, these guys are, this is their real emotions that that was his real emotions he was pouring out in that. And it's awesome to see. It's hard to see at the same time, because a lot of us feel those emotions also, but I'm just loving it. It's so good.
Yeah. It gets you in a place. We've all been vulnerable like this before, and seeing someone else be so open, so vulnerable, I think connects us back to a place and a time where we had to be vulnerable and share those types of emotions. So I was actually gonna ask another question, but I want to ask this one first. Um, do you think, and I'll start with Chris this time, um, do you think that the subject matter that they're covering in this storyline is too deep for some wrestling fans? Do you think it's something that everyone can connect with, and that's why we've seen the response we've gotten so far?
I mean, I'm sure that there's some people that maybe this is a little too deep for them, but I'd say the vast majority, like this because it's something everybody can connect with. Almost all of us have lost someone that was close to us at some point in our lives, and have had these same emotions that he's feeling and that Bo was feeling and stuff. So I think that's cool that everyone can probably relate to it, at least on some level, and connect with them and feel what they're feeling.
Yeah. Joe, same question, man.
Wrestling always mirrors reality in a lot of ways. That's why you see, characters. They'll do things that reflect things in pop culture or other things that are going on. Horror reflecting the love of people I have for horror. It's just something they do in professional wrestling. But look, this might be the first time, and I mean I've watched wrestling since the late 70s. But it might be the first time, maybe other than like when Owen Hart passed, might be like something. But I don't ever remember, to this extent anyway, something about a wrestler's passing being worked into a story. I guess maybe in the past, really, I'm sure that Brett didn't necessarily want to do that or wanted to do anything like that. But this is unique in the fact that, they're working that into a storyline. But it's also being worked into something that's helping Bo and of course Eric deal with all of this. And I think it's intelligent. It's great writing and it's smart, and it's what I love about it is I love the fact that I'm sure Rob Fee and the others are working with them with this, but I love the fact that they are allowing so much personal to be put out there on the show, because they don't have to. They can just say, let's not have all that personal stuff being aired out, but they're allowing it, and I think that makes it all that much more realistic, I think, to everybody, and I love that. I really love that.
Yeah. Chris, do you think we're getting these types of videos from other members?
I think so. It seems like we're going that way, and I think that's very cool to find out what each person's personal motivations are, and especially you found out the tragedy and stuff behind what Rowan said, but then he said that he had hope in moving forward with this group and creating art together, I believe is how he put it. So I think that's cool too, that you're finding out the past, the trouble, what happened to him and why, and that, but then seeing something going forward and what they've been able to create, and how he talked about Howdy rescued him, pulled him up out of that well. So I thought that was really cool too. And yeah, I'd love to see that going forward with the other characters.
Same question, Joe. I agree, Chris. Same question.
Sorry, Jeff. I think it's important that we get motivation, especially for the next few, because we know the ties that Bo has, obviously, to Bray, being his brother. We know the ties that Eric has, of course, being in the Wyatt family. But now it's going to be interesting to hear from Joe Gacy and from Nikki Cross and from Dexter Lumis, because they're not really they may have known him. I'm sure Joe Gacy may have crossed paths with him. So they may have known who he was, but they are now going to have different motivations than we've heard so far. So I think that's going to be, it's going to be important. Look, we never heard Dexter Lumis speak. Dexter Lumis never spoke. So it's going to be the first time we're going to hear this man talk since he's been wrestling. And you know, and Joe Gacy's a pretty darn good talker too. But I want to hear what their motivations are. I want to hear what Nikki Cross has to say. If she does indeed talk, we don't know. Maybe her character won't warrant it because she's supposed to be Abby. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. But if she does, I want to hear all their motivations. I want to hear, maybe she'll say something about how, you know, that she felt that no one wanted to use her, that she felt that, you know, like almost bring it back to reality for herself too, saying that, you know, I wasn't being, you know, worded a different way, but I wasn't being used. I wasn't allowed to do what I wanted to do. And talk. Like, I want to hear all that and make it even all that much more personal for every one of them. And then all of a sudden, then we're tied in emotionally to every one of them, because we can then understand, okay, well, that makes sense. Nikki was never really used in big matches. She was that superhero character. And then after that, it was like, nah, you know, she wasn't even really out there. And the same thing with Gacy, you know, so maybe they can tie it to WWE and being upset with them in a way because of how they were used. So, and I like that. And again, that makes it personal for them.
Yeah, I could definitely see that with her, like, complaining they, you know, for a while they used her almost as a joke.
Yep. Yeah. She was made to wear that costume, you know, that superhero costume. And yeah, agreed. Yeah.
If she said something like, they made me wear a mask to hide my identity, now I can show who I truly am.
Bingo. Yep.
That's money.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Well, let's speak of someone who is not in the money right now, and that's one Chad Gable, who he was not feeling too hot after not being Mr. Money in the Bank, not getting that briefcase. And he told Adam Pearce that he was going to call Bo out to the ring. He thought he broke some news by saying that
I love how he thought he solved the mystery.
Yeah.
He gave me so much Kurt Angle vibes from
100%. Yes. Yeah. I thought that too. He was acting all innocent, like when Kurt used to come down and act real innocent and say like things like that. Yeah, 100%. It was definitely Kurt Angle. Like you could even see if Kurt was still wrestling. We all know Bray. You know, Bray and him had that little bit of history too. But if Kurt was still wrestling, he would have been perfect for this spot because he would have done it very similarly. Yeah, yeah.
That was brilliant, and he actually did it. He went through with it, and you know, he called out Bo, and I thought it was interesting. Maybe not, but I thought it was interesting that Bo just came down, no music,
no entrance, no
entrance.
Yeah, I did think that was interesting too.
Yeah.
So that was one of the little details that I picked up, and then, you know, Bo can't really get down to the ring because he's attacked by the Creed brothers. Which Creed brothers? Have you seen the rest of the Wyatt Sicks? I mean, have you seen the rest of them?
They didn't think this through very well. Yeah. No.
I love the part they did too when he went to Alpha Academy. He thought they were talking about him joining back with him, and that they were really talking about Woods, and so that just pissed him off even more.
Obviously, he must have given the Creed brothers some good cash to come down and do this. So yeah.
Joe, there's no cash that would make me want to mess with.
No, I wouldn't either. But apparently, I don't know. They might have been a little high on themselves, thinking that, you know, we're not afraid of that. But yeah.
Put it like this: I'd take 5 Gunther chops. I just would. I'm just letting you know I would, because I ain't messing with these dudes.
No.
So
no.
So going back to the video thing, I'll get back to this picture that we have up right now. But EJ Movement, this is interesting, very interesting, and as all of your comments are. But I wanted to bring this one up specifically. He says, "I wonder if they do a dual interview with Gacy and Loomis, and Gacy ends up speaking for Loomis. Just a theory." What do you guys think about that, Chris? And then we'll go Joe.
That would be a clever way to do it. And it's really interesting to see what they do. I saw someone else say that they wonder if, like, he might get asked questions and Loomis might draw something to answer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to see what they end up doing with that.
Yeah, I like that. I like the drawing idea because, you know, that's, first off, dude is hella talented. I mean, good grief, that dude is talented. But yeah, that would be awesome. Joe, what are you thinking, man?
I mean, if they want to keep the mystique of that going, if they want to just have him not speak, they could. I would guess that, that's a good way to do it with the pictures and stuff. If they want to do that, I would think it's going to be up to him. You know, they probably said, listen, do you want to continue to not do promos and not speak, or do you want to be heard? And if they decide to go the other way, that is indeed something that he could bring up. And he could say, I wasn't ever allowed to be heard. And he could act as if he didn't want to do that. But I was never allowed to speak my mind or open my mouth or say anything. And that could be something that he could be upset about. So they could really go either way with that, I would say.
Yeah. If they do go the route of him speaking, it would be just make it that much bigger than him speaking for the first time.
Yep. And the fact that he looks so different. Now with the beard and everything, he just looks completely different. So yeah, we'll see how they want to do it. But you know, they want to keep going with this and keep basing this in reality. And they all have something to be upset and angry about. I think it's smart. So
yeah, absolutely. Shane here with this is, I got goosebumps on this one. Or she could say, I tried to be a hero in a world full of evil. You rejected me. Howdy found me, saved me, made me who I am now. That,
I like that too.
Yeah. Give Shane the.
Why don't you DM that over to Nikki, dude? DM that right over to her on her X account, man.
Give Shane the pencil. Hashtag give Shane the pencil.
Yeah, man. Send that right over, man. That's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good.
It just goes back to show that, the story, like we've talked about before, every week we just have no idea what we're going to get, and that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So Bo gets beaten down, but as you can see here, Bo's laughing, and they continue the beat down. Chad gets pissed off because he's like, "Why are you laughing? Like, dude, you're pissing me off. Why are you laughing?" And there you go. I love this right here. Like I love that. So then we get, and you know you messed up when they hit the light. They hit the lights. It goes pitch black. Then you hear the music. You get the fog. Man,
that is such an incredible shot. I mean, that is just really straight out of a horror movie right there.
Yep.
Like, you done messed up now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and EJ movement. Yes. Before we move further, you got the yeah from Bo.
Yeah.
Paying
tribute to Brody Lee.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
Got me on that one too.
Yeah, I loved it, man. I saw when he was getting beat up, and very reminiscent of Bray. How many times was Bray getting beat up like that, right? Remember when he was just regular Bray Wyatt and he wrestled a few times and he wasn't the Fiend? When he would come out there and he would get beat up by someone and he would just laugh. And I love that. See it. I was thinking to myself, I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to see some of these people saying, oh, look it now. We're back to the supernatural. This doesn't make any sense. He's getting beat up and he's not being hurt by all this stuff. And he's able to see, to me, again, you can look at, and, Jody used to mention the movie Split a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can look at a movie like that and see that sometimes people with that, dealing with that much mental, issues or split personality type things, they can do that. They don't feel pain sometimes. So this isn't something that's that far outside of reality. So I was waiting to look and see. I didn't, thankfully, but I kind of thought that, oh, here we go. Now it's going to come out. They're going to say, well, what? That doesn't make sense. Does that mean that he's going to be invulnerable to pain, and they're not going to be able to hurt him and stuff like that? Well, go down that road again. I don't think that's the case. I think he was in there. He was selling really well. Like you can see him selling.
Bo did an amazing job of selling. It was awesome.
He did. Like he was getting pounded down there. Like he sold all of that stuff. He was down, but he just that other just thing inside of him was driving him.
That reminded me of vibes of like the Joker. Like you could see the Joker doing that, getting beat up by Batman, but just laughing at him. Like not to say it didn't hurt him. Of course it hurt him. Like, but he's just psychotic. So
yeah. In the scene that you're talking about the Joker with the in Christian Bale movie when he was in the jail cell, when Batman's just destroying him in that cell, and he just continued to just keep talking like he didn't do anything to him, and then he even said to him, "You can't hurt me, with all your might, you can't hurt me." Yeah, so that's a great comparison. You just they don't think that way, and once something just snaps, it doesn't matter anymore. You can keep beating him down, and it just doesn't matter. And then what did he say before? I can't remember what he said. What was cool before they started walking in? Was it something like what? Did he say something like "What have you done?" or "Look what you've done" or something like that before they came walking out or something? I don't remember.
He said, "There you are."
Right.
He looked up at Chad and said, "There you are."
There you are. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So it's almost as if like he brought out another part of Chad, right? And again, this is back to Bray. This is what Bray was doing. He would convert characters over and bring them, to their fullest. So
back to his WrestleMania 30 match with Cena, where he was handing him the chair and trying to get him to use it and turn.
Yeah, and he could have really been saying it for both people. I think that's the thought I wanted to. He was saying it to Chad, but they walked out almost at the same time. So he could have even been saying it to them too, like saying "There you are," and have them all coming out at the same time. So I thought that was really clever, how they did that. So yeah,
very well timed. I'll agree really on that. Yeah, Clown says Loomis can say this family gave me a voice. Clown. Send that to Dexter Loomis.
You guys are gonna write. You guys are gonna be writing all their parts for them.
Yeah, you got future WWE writers in the chat tonight,
right?
Yeah. James Chadwick pointing out that the crowd was saying "you effed up" and it was audible.
Oh, it was. Yeah,
they tried their darndest to turn it down just a little bit, but it was too loud in there. So. What do you guys think about the fact that one, they were chanting that, but two, it wasn't like Fox and going off like every 3 milliseconds?
Yeah, just makes me excited for Netflix.
Me too. Yeah, I look. I mean, the crowd is all in. They're definitely all into this, and they when whatever they see here, and look. I liked it too because we didn't see now. A lot of times, maybe prior, other factions would have made their way down there and they would have beat the crap out of Gable and the other two. That didn't happen. So that's still they got out of Dodge. Then that's still left up to a mystery. And I'd imagine at SummerSlam we're getting something. We're going to probably get a 6-man tag between those three and these three from the Wyatt Sicks, and that's probably where we're going to first see them in a ring. Is going to be at SummerSlam. So that's something we're going to look forward to. I also like the fact that, and this is what's cool about it too. The mystery with Howdy and Bo and the mystery with Nikki is still going to kind of be kept intact a little bit going forward. I think of the entire group, I think are the most supernatural-ish kind of characters here. Because the whole thing, we know Bo and Howdy and the split personality there and him talking to himself in the funhouse, and Nikki really doesn't say a word, hasn't said a word yet. In fact, they really don't even talk about her. So that's kind of cool that they're keeping that intact and have the other 3 guys be the ones that come into the ring. So I like that as well. Again, very similar to Bray, because many times Bray would sit on the outside of the ring in the rocking chair while the rest of the Wyatt family would be in the ring wrestling and doing his dirty work a little bit. That's I like that, because they are keeping so that would just say you're not seeing the supernatural part. If Bo's going to be and Nikki are going to be the supernatural parts, and those are the ones that are going to be a little bit harder to translate into the ring. So maybe they'll just keep them out of the ring for a little while, and I'm okay with that. I think it's cool.
That's what I was thinking. That we get a 6-man tag with Gacy, Dexter, and Rowan against the Creed brothers and Gable. That would be cool. And then Bo is just at ringside watching. Yep. And Nikki too, maybe.
Yeah.
All I could say to the Creed brothers and Chad is go back and watch the video of Bray when he wrestled Finn Balor for the very first time, and let's see if you can beat the time that he was out there. with the Fiend, because I'd imagine that's going to be a glorified squash match in a lot of ways, but I think it's going to show off their brutality. You're going to be able to see them come down and just be absolutely brutal. So,
and it'd be appropriate for a SummerSlam debut, since that's when that match was a SummerSlam.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yes,
great.
It was.
This is the image of you done effed up. For the Creed brothers and Chad Gable.
Oh my gosh.
You're in so much trouble, but you just have no idea the amount of trouble that you're in.
Reminds me of the line in Fright Night, Jeff. You'll remember this, I know, from Fright Night, when he said, "You're so screwed, Brewster." Yeah. 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's yeah. And the glee on Bo's face after just getting that beat down and being surrounded by them, it's like, yeah, you're screwed. You may want to leave town. It was awesome. It was such an amazing picture and amazing photos that they had out there from this and stuff. It was awesome. It was really awesome.
Yeah, I absolutely love this shot. Let me get to a couple questions here. Conrad saying, do you think, and welcome Conrad, thank you for joining us, man. Saying, do you think they expand the new normal 5-match card for SummerSlam? Do you think they add some stuff to it this year, since it's going to be the last one night SummerSlam for a bit?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they already said, Conrad, I don't know if you saw it, but they already said that this is they are going like WrestleMania route for this. So it's gonna be a long night. They're not
at least a 4-hour show, I bet.
I think it's gonna be long. Yeah, because they're already talking about all the matches think about all the matches that they didn't announce necessarily yet, but we mentioned this one, which I'm sure is gonna be there. I mean, you're gonna have Drew and Punk. You're going to have Gunther and Damian Priest. You're going to have Cody and probably Solo Sikoa. That's just the men's. Then you're going to have the women's matches. You're probably going to have more tag team. Yeah, this is going to be – it's their last hurrah, really, for this, not being 2 nights. But I think this is going to be a long show. I really do.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Chris?
Yeah, I agree. It'll be at least a 4 to 5 hour show probably, because, you've got you've got every title will, or at least most of them will probably be defended, except for maybe the women's tag title or something you might not see, but I bet all the rest of the titles will probably be defended. IC title, I'm sure, will be, and then you're gonna have several non-title matches too, like Drew and Punk and stuff. So yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be a big show.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why they're moving it to 2 nights going forward.
Yeah,
I actually bet we're going to see Royal Rumble move to 2 nights at some point too.
Do you think that's too much? I know that's not really on topic, but I got to get both of your thoughts on that. Do you think it's too much to have the big?
When they first went to 2-night WrestleMania, I wasn't sure about it. Now I really like it, and then it's kind of thought the same thing when I heard they were going to do SummerSlam 2 nights. But I was like, well, it works for WrestleMania, so I think I could see it working for other ones too. Especially that they're not just jam packing it, like they want each match to have. I like the format now, or letting matches have time and tell a story and have some time to breathe in between and stuff. So that works better to have it on 2 nights and be able to stretch it out and not have to cram everything in so much, and give each match the time it deserves.
Yeah, because they've been on that run of having pretty short PLEs over the last year, I'd say. Not jam packing them. Joe, what do you think?
I mean, I'm okay with the two. I don't know that I'd go any further than the two of them. You have to look at, like, even back in Mania has always been the biggest event that they've ever had. But even back when WCW was around, they would, all the companies would have like their big one, right? The big one. Like, it seems like for AEW now, it's All In is their big one, right? So they always have that one big one a year that becomes the event, right? That's the fan event. They're there for 2 days. You're going to all these fan things and everything like that. But I think it's all right. Like, the only thing that concerns me between WrestleMania, like, WrestleMania has so much buildup because the buildup for it starts the prior year. And then you're going through almost an entire year, like Cody did with his story last year. But with SummerSlam, it's a really tight window because you're only going from April into August. So that's not a very long time to get things built up. But it does seem like they have the script for it now, because they're giving more reverence to the Money in the Bank winners and doing a little bit more with that. But again, I think it's okay. If you the other, they don't all need to be that long though. And I think it's the other ones, keep it to 5 matches in the smaller ones and stuff like that. And then keep maybe the 2 big ones. And we know that, like, Survivor Series, that's going to be all about teams and stuff like that. It always was. So that was always kind of a different one anyway. So yeah, I think the 2 is fine. And they do it that way. You know what else it is too? It's like Conrad said, yes, it's for sure it's money. And the other thing is I think it's good for the fans too, because look at now, Cleveland will now have a huge event. They'll probably do a whole bunch of things outside of the event. So they'll have a bunch of WWE stuff going on there that all the Cleveland fans can go to. And I think it just gives, and look, especially for people who are overseas and stuff as well, this just gives them other opportunities to possibly get a larger event, a larger pay-per-view. So yeah, I'm okay with it. And again, I just want to see them continue to create the storylines and do this good long-term storytelling like they have been with Punk and Drew, that's going to end up playing out at SummerSlam. So yeah.
That's good discussion. I like that. Might be in a sell or no sell at some point.
Yeah, there you go.
Just saying. James had one for Gacy. I'm telling you, we've got so many future WWE writers. James says, Jeff, Gacy could say, my family left me, the fans left me, saying in someone else. If only you knew what I'm truly capable of. He, Howdy, saw the monster I could become. Then he says, now you will see the monster I have become. James, send that. Send it. Send
Everybody's composing all the characters tonight.
Yeah. You guys are doing some heavy lifting, so you take a lap and enjoy that. Send it, seriously, send it, post it, share it, because that's brilliant. Dylan saying, I really enjoyed the Wyatt segment last night and the formation. I hope finally of this new faction between Gable and the Creed. Yeah, I think Gable at this point doesn't really have a choice. I think because the Creed brothers attacked Bo and delivered him to Chad, they're in it. Whether they want to be all together or not, they're in it at this point. I don't think they get a choice anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely not. They went in with the wrong person, and they're all going to pay for it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I know you both talked about potentially SummerSlam, and I want to show these pictures again because they're amazing.
Yeah.
So I know both of you talked about potentially at SummerSlam, but Chris, I mean, Joe, I'll start with you, and then Chris will end with you on this one. But where do you think this goes next? Obviously, do you think we get another tape next week? What do you think happens next? And kind of leading up to SummerSlam, starting with Joe.
We only have there's only 2 weeks left. SummerSlam's in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, that's true. True.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. So we're only going to have 2 more Raws before. I would say so. If you're going to see the 6-man tag, right? I would say that we'll probably get 2 more videos because you'll need a video for Gacy and you'll need a video for Loomis if that's how they're going to go. And again, like I said, I'm fine with that because Nikki, we don't know what's going on there yet. Maybe keep her a little more shrouded in mystery. And keep her more of Abby was always the supernatural character, always. So keep her more shrouded in that. Maybe she appears during a match like she's not there, and then all of a sudden, boom, you'll see her come up from under the ring or something like that, and just have her presence there will just creep the other team out and do something where it can cause them to lose. And then, of course, Bo, maybe Bo won't be there. Maybe he comes down as Bo. Maybe he comes down as Howdy. We don't know. Or maybe he's standing up in the rafters somewhere as Howdy. But let's see the other 2 videos prior to them wrestling and taking the ring for the first time. I know they're not going to wrestle in those masks. They're going to have the masks off. So you're going to see them just like you do on the picture up here with Bray and the Wyatts. You're going to see them in ring look like that. I expect that to happen, and I think they're going to be totally devastating. I think they will devastate those guys. It won't be a complete squash. I don't think there'll be times when they'll be down, but I do believe they will show their power. And that's what this is all about. It's that first match. It's that first opportunity to see them. And I do not think, other than the psychology behind them coming down the way they do in the mask and with the fog and the smoke, I do not think they will show any type of supernatural powers. I don't. They never, Braun and Brody and Eric didn't, whereas Bray was the guy who did a lot of that. So I don't think they will. I think they will just be powerful, big, huge men, just like the Wyatt family used to be.
Yep. Chris.
Yeah, something else I like that you said, talking about Nikki, Joe, and think back to the Firefly Funhouse. Abby was always kind of a real reserved character. She was in the background. She didn't talk too much. So I think that's really cool. It feels like that's kind of where they're going with this. The characters are playing out a lot like they did on the Funhouse.
Yep.
So I think that's really cool that they're, to see that parallel in the, with the characters coming to life. But yeah, I agree with all that. I think that I like that they're doing that. I think that we'll see the 3 kind of be the main force for now. And we'll find out more in the future going along. What's up with Howdy and with Nikki. I like the way they've really done this in a good way to where they don't have to rely on supernatural. They can still. These are still, we've seen in the videos that, especially now with Eric Rowan's last night, like he's just a regular guy. Like, he's got some issues, of course, going on, in the head. But he's still just Eric Rowan. He can still just come out and wrestle just as Eric Rowan. And he can be intimidating and things with the mask on and stuff, but he can still just wrestle as a regular guy. So they've done a really good job with that, not forcing anything into supernatural. Yep.
Yeah, I think they're more akin, honestly, to the Wyatt family. Mm-hmm. I really do. Yeah. I think they're going to be closer to the Wyatt family than the Fiend was for Bray, because once those masks comes off, well, I can't wait to see what their wrestling moves are and their finishers are. I'm excited for that, because I think everyone
the entrance music,
and like Chris, like you were saying, every one of these guys could portray a part of their character. Mm-hmm. So the Buzzard, how he's kind of always like lurking around. He might be like the quick one who's over in the corner. And next thing you know, he's right on top of you. Mm-hmm. Obviously Rowan is kind of like the beastly one with the big hammer. And then, you have Loomis, who Loomis could be, I think they're all going to have their different styles. And I think they're all going to have, and that's what's going to make them so hard to beat, because you're just not going to know. You're going to have no idea what they're doing in there. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see them wrestle, and I'm excited to see like what their finishing moves are going to be and all that stuff like that. Yeah, 100%. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I, for one, cannot wait to see what we get next. And Chris, it feels like we say this every week before the show, but everything that we expect, they tend to exceed our expectations.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah. great. I mean,
The bad
great
thing
stuff.
is I'm not going to be able to watch SummerSlam live. I'm bummed about that.
Wow, gotcha.
I bought earlier in the year. I bought tickets for me and Jody and Logan to go to a Brandon Lake concert, which is one of our
Okay.
favorite artists in Louisville. And before I knew about the date of SummerSlam, I already had the tickets, and it's on the same night as SummerSlam. So
I got you, man.
We'll be able to. We'll
I'm
actually,
going to avoid spoilers and watch it after.
yeah. Well, hey, you gotta spend that family time. That's awesome.
Yeah. Logan's so looking forward to it. It's his favorite singer.
Yeah.
We actually can do that on our channel too. That'll be awesome.
Let's see. Oh, okay. There we go. I'm sorry. I think the storm is screwing with something. All right. So before I lose power and internet and everything else,
Jeff gets
we'll just end off with some final thoughts. We'll start with Joe and then end with Chris.
I know I say this week after week, but they just keep giving me probably even more maybe than I expect. I really just thought we were getting another video today or yesterday. I'm sorry, from Rowan, and that was it. But I did know that they introduced Bo into the mix, so obviously. And then when Chad started mentioning Bo, I didn't even know. I'm like, well, what are they going to do? So I like it. I love the way that they're doing it. I've said this before. The writers are doing a fantastic job with this. They're taking it step by step. And I don't see how anyone could possibly. I'm sure there's some idiots out there doing it, but I don't see how anyone possible can complain about it. I just think it's beautifully done, and everything around it, including the stuff with Rowan and how he poured his heart out and everything like that. I think it's amazing. They are just and like Jeff said, I look forward now so much to Mondays, just to see what's going to go on. So yeah, I can't really say much more than that. I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely, Chris.
Yeah, it's so crazy. We've talked about this recently, like how quickly it's changed. Where Monday used to be terrible, and now like I look so forward to Monday Night Raw every week. Like it's I am thoroughly entertained for the entire 3 hours now, which is awesome, and not even just because of the Wyatt Sicks. Like there's so much other good storylines going on and stuff, but it's become such a great show now.
Yep, agreed.
And especially with the Wyatt Sicks, like the pacing of this, I just can't commend WWE enough for how well they're doing this and the pacing of it. They're not overusing it. They're just giving it just a little bit each week, and then just enough to keep me coming back. Like I can't wait to see more.
Yep.
Yeah. They're definitely doing a great job with this, and kudos to everyone involved. Because again, like we've said throughout, this is more reality than anything. And Deanna says it's more mental psychology than supernatural. Yes. But yeah, it's been a fun ride. It's been an emotional ride. But it's been well done. And kudos to, like I said, kudos to everybody involved, because man, they're just knocking it out of the park. All right. So coming up this week, we got a big week this week on this channel. We'll be back Thursday for our TNA watch along. Join us for that at 8:00. And then on Saturday, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Slammiversary is here. It feels like it was miles away, and now we're here. So join us on Saturday for that. We'll get everyone a time for that one, just depending on when the pre-show starts and all of that good stuff. But yeah, it'll be a fun weekend for us on this channel. And if you're a TNA fan, it's going to be great. And if you're not, you know what? Join us. Just join us anyway. Maybe give it a try, and maybe you'll be hooked like we are too.
Going to be a lot of people watching from NXT, I would imagine.
Yeah. And I think you should.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah. Yep.
because I never remember to do this on this show for whatever reason. Please, folks, drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe if you like what you heard today. And I'll say this, I'll brag on our community, and then I'll shut up rambling. But this really is a family. It's a family environment. There's so much love and support and respect in the chat, and just not just here, but just across social media with all of us too. So be a part of something good, be a part of something positive. So that's all I gotta say.
Oh, and welcome back our Twitter viewers too, by the way.
Yeah, welcome back, because Mr. Musk decided to change some things up, and so welcome back. We appreciate all of you. Everyone watching from Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, thank you all so much for joining us today. We greatly appreciate it. And if we don't see you this weekend for the TNA festivities, hopefully we'll see you again next week on this one. Take care, everyone.